Man's best friend. They are cute, they are cuddly, and they are great company. And I think dogs might be the only thing that has been more popular in the last few years than RV travel. And we're seeing more and more people wanting to travel with their pets and more owners making their RV rentals pet friendly. So we thought it would be great to put together our top tips on how to travel with your pets. Hi there, thanks for joining us today. My name is Katie and I am with RV Share to give you our top tips on how to travel with your pets so your next vacation is the best one yet. If you like what you learn in this video, please like and subscribe to our channel to learn more about RV vacations. All right, let's go. Our first tip is safety first and foremost and always and all the above. There is nothing more important than the safety of you and your animal on an RV trip. And that is going to look a little bit different, and the preparation for that is going to look a little bit different depending on where you are in the process. So before your trip and during your trip. So prior to your trip, what you're going to want to do is reach out and visit your veterinarian. Let them know about your travel plans, what you're planning on doing, where you're planning on going, kind of the environments that you're going to be in. You're going to want to make sure that all of your pets' vaccinations are up to date. That's important as always. And same with the medication that they're on, and making sure that you have enough supplies for your trip. But letting the veterinarian know what you're planning on doing and what types of activities you'll be involved in and kind of the environment that you're going to be in will also influence, what their recommendations are and what they might prescribe to you for the trip, because you are going to be in new environments and potentially exposed to new things. Another thing that we hate to say, but is very important to think about, is where you are going to be camping and the emergency facilities around it. When you are in an emergency crisis, the last thing that you want to be trying to figure out is like what vet is open to help you and your animal in case of emergency. So just doing a little bit of that research beforehand will save you a lot of headache and a lot of stress in an event that might be a little bit more stressful than we're used to dealing with. If you are an RV traveler looking to take your pet on vacation with you, it's important to remember that RV stands for recreational vehicle, which means it's a vehicle. Yes, Katie, I know it's a vehicle. It's pretty obvious. Well, it's really important to reiterate that because a lot of the safety precautions that you apply to your regular vehicle are also going to be applied to your RV. Just like you would never leave your pet alone, unattended in a car, you're also not going to do that for an RV either. A lot of RVs have very thin insulation, which means that it can heat up pretty quickly in the sun and also get pretty cold pretty quickly in the shade. So you want to make sure that you're really cognizant of the temperature in the vehicle for the safety of your animal. And if you're planning on driving, it's really important to make sure that your pet is secured when you are driving, either by a seatbelt, a harness, or if you have a crate, making sure that that is secured as well. And you also want to make sure that you never leave the animal unattended in the RV that you're towing. Always make sure that your pet is with you in whichever vehicle that you're driving. Tip number 2, find a pet-friendly campground before hitting the road. Although most campsites nowadays are pet-friendly and it has never been easier to camp with a pet, not all of them are. So you really want to make sure that you do the research and understand what is allowed and what is not allowed. Some campsites have restrictions on the types of breeds you can bring, the size of the dog, how many dogs you can bring, and we've seen others that have restrictions around the fencing that you can put up for your animals on the campsite. So just do a little bit of research before hitting the road. How disappointing would it be just to get to this campsite to find out that you and your dog are not welcome? And trying to sneak in a dog to a campground that does not allow dogs is a recipe for a disaster, so please definitely do not do that. We also recommend that you pre-book before you get there as well, especially in seasons where there's high traffic and high volume of other campers. And then lastly, we also have listed in the description a link to some of our favorite campsites that are dog friendly. So if you want to learn more, click below. It's not only essential to plan and pre-plan for your accommodation and your travel, but also you should be planning for your recreational activities. Every town, park, and state is going to have different rules on how you can bring your dog and if you can bring your dog. Some require them to be on leash, some are okay with them being off leash, but knowing that information beforehand will be really, really helpful for you to plan your activities. For example, we know that a lot of people want to go to national parks parks. It's where we see people wanting to rent the most, but all national parks are really, really different. If you look at something like Acadia National Park, they're pretty pet friendly and you can bring your dogs on most of their hiking trails. But then if you look at Rocky National Park, that's also very different. Your dog can't leave the parking lot. So those are two extremely different experiences that you're gonna wanna know ahead of time. Some of the most dog-friendly national parks are Acadia National Park, the Petrified Forest National Park, Congaree National Park, the Great Sand Dunes National Park, and the Grand Canyon National Park. Okay, tip number 4, know your pet's abilities and limitations. Just like when you're considering what to do in terms of activities, can I do this, can I do that, you're gonna wanna apply that same logic to your animals as well. Are they gonna be able to keep up with the moderate hike that you wanna do? Or can they stay out in the sun as long as you might need them to stay out in the sun? Or do you need to keep them in the RV? If you do decide to keep them in the RV, again, going back to tip number 1, you are going to want to make sure that the temperature is stable and safe in that RV when you're not there. There are a couple of ways to monitor the temperature while you're gone, or the safetiness of your dog while you're not in the vehicle as well. There are a lot of devices out there that you can put in the vehicle and set an alert in case the temperature starts to drop below that level of safety that you're comfortable with. Another way that we have seen people do is by having a puppy cam and checking in on their dog throughout the day just to make sure everybody's happy and healthy. It will just give you the peace of mind that you need in case you need to do activities and keep the dogs behind for the day. Tip number 5, packing for your pet. Just like you should make a packing list for yourself when you're getting ready for an RV vacation, you should also make a list for your pet too. It is very annoying to have to stop and make a last minute trip to pick up something that you could have easily remembered. I have done it before, don't recommend it. And here's a list of kind of things that we recommend for you just to kick it off. You're gonna wanna bring food and treats, obviously. Water bowls, travel and collapsible water bowls are great too, but not needed, but highly recommended. Make sure that you wanna bring your leash, your collars, any harnesses that you use. Make sure your contact information is on your tags. You wanna bring any comfort items like blankets or beds or toys that they like as well. And then you also definitely wanna bring some dog towels or just old towels to wipe off those paws before you get them back in the RV. And then lastly, you want to make sure you bring poop bags. What you bring in, you have to pack out, which includes your dog's waste. So just pick up the poo, bring it out, don't be that person. Which brings me to tip number 6 and our last tip of this video, be a good neighbor. You might have the most friendliest dog or pet in the world, but the truth of the matter is not everybody likes dogs. So keeping your dog on a leash is gonna help you maintain control of the situation at all times, which is great. Having a clean campsite is expected. You wanna make sure that you have and pick up all the waste that your dog makes, especially and preferably in a biodegradable poop bag. So the moral of the story is just pick up after your dog. It is sad that we have to say this, but it's true. Just clean up after your dog. Don't be that person. Please, please, please. So that's it. Those are our top tips for how to travel with your pets. I hope you really enjoyed this content. If you have any other tips or tricks that you want to supply, please write them in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel if you want to learn more about RV camping. My name is Katie. Thank you so much for joining us today. And until next time, see you soon.